Welcome to a meeting review of session one of the Fundamentals of Python Bootcamp. This was just an introductory meeting, and we will cover what we went over in this meeting. So essentially, we learned what Python was, what programming languages are, and what software was. We set up the IDE, which was Google Colab, which I will explain later. Um, and we also learned what sustainability was, and we learned how software and sustainability could work together as a team to solve real world problems. And we did a final summary and a Blooket instead of a Kahoot to end the session. Now, these slides will be all you need, but I will explain some of the parts that are not covered in the slides more specifically, like setting up the IDE, right? I'll explain the slides a little bit, but at the same time, if you go over these slides and you understand what's going on, then that will be all you'll need for getting caught up. Now, a little introduction about me. I am Arush Chavali, a rising junior at American High School, and these are some facts about me. I will be your program lead, and Arya Marker, he's a rising senior at Mission San Jose High School. He will also be a lead for this program, and he wasn't present for the first meeting, but he will join us in the later sessions. This is just a general timeline of the bootcamp. So the first one was an introductory meeting. Weeks 2 and 3 will focus on the basics of Python programming. Week 4 will focus on more advanced concepts, and weeks 5 and 6 will be focused on building a final capstone project and presenting them at a showcase. The proceedings of the showcase will be published to a final GitHub repository where all the projects will be made open source and accessible to the public. So that's kind of a cool achievement for the bootcamp and you guys once you finish learning Python. Um, yeah. Again, donations are appreciated, and you can donate at this link. Remember that these boot camps and workshops are free, and we spend a lot of time in bringing them to you. So any amount would be appreciated. We thank you. Now, these are just some basics, what Python is, what compilers are, what the underlying mechanics of it are. In the meeting, we just covered this slide and what and people had some questions, so they just asked in the chat, and I was just answering them as we went. But this is all you will need, this slide. We also covered what an integrated development environment was, which is an IDE. It's essentially a place where you write, run, and debug code, and it's a place where you manage code as well. These parts are more for VS Code, which is a full-scale IDE made to support multiple programming languages. But for this bootcamp, we will be using Google Colab, which is strictly meant for Python. Now, you can follow these instructions, but if these instructions don't work for you, I will be showing you a simpler method right now. Yeah, let's, okay. So essentially, you will go to your search bar right here, and you will type colab.research.google.com. This is the link that you want to go to, right? You will click enter, and you will be taken to this page. Once you're in this page, you will click new notebook, and you will be on this page. Now, essentially, I will explain some parts about this page. Now, Google Colab is similar to an IDE, but it doesn't have all the components in a literal sense, right? So some simple parts that you will first need to know to set up is connecting to a runtime. Now, a runtime essentially means a program, a cloud-based, it's a thing where you have to connect to a cloud to run your code, to access the tools and um, processes that they have over there in order to run your code here, right? If I didn't connect to a runtime, I cannot run my Python code here, right? So that's what you want to do first. It's right here. And then this is called a code block right here. And what you would do is you would write code here, right? So if I were to write print hello world, you don't need to know this, what the print statement means or anything. I'm just showing you an example, right? And I will click this play button to run my code. And as you can see, this is the terminal, kind of inbuilt to the Google Colab, where you will see hello world, just like that. That's your terminal, right? That's where your output will be. To add a code block, you will just click this button right here, insert code cell below, and that will just add code blocks. And to delete a code block, you will click on it and you'll click this button right here, delete. That is how you add and delete a code block, right? And if you wanted to add a text cell, you would click add text cell. And this is where you can't write any code, right? You have to, anything in here, it will just be text, not code, right? That's it. It's just for your notes, right? Just for maybe like describing something, kind of like comments which between code blocks to increase understanding, right, of what your code does. But yeah, that's essentially what you need to know. And this is the run all block. If you want to run every single code block, there's different commands here, right here. You can add an AI prompt cell, which you won't be needing. Add a comment, right? Add a code cell, right? You can use this as well, right? You can search for commands. I hope you can take the time to explore this, right? Um, and just get comfortable with it because this is what we'll be using for the next 5 weeks for coding everything in and organizing your code, right? One last thing that I would cover in the IDE section is you click right here and highlight this part, select it, click this, delete it, and type any name you want for the file, right? So if I say test run for meeting review, now that will be the name of your file, right? That's how you change the name of a file. You can even go here and you can click rename notebook and you can say, I am changing this file name or name it to something else like Binda Betters meeting review week 1. Something like that, right? If you just leave it normally, it will just revert back to untitled, which you generally don't want this because this isn't a good naming convention, right? That's all for Google Colab. I encourage you guys to um, run the code by yourself and explore more parts to it and share it with me in the next bootcamp, which would be helpful for everyone. Let's move on.